attending my lecture today, and I'm requesting all the science students all the Muhammadin, especially those who were shaheed this year, especially like Razi as well, and remembering those who were here last year but not here anymore today.
Bismillah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله
اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد.
الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله لقد جاءت رسل ربنا بالحق والصلاة والسلام على رسول الثقلين محبوب رب المشرقين والمغربين وجد الحسن والحسين مولانا بالقاسم محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد.
وعلى آل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين ورحمة الله على أعدائهم أجمعين. أما بعد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وتوابع ما يوحى إليك من ربك إن الله كان بما تعملون خبيرا وتوكل على الله وكفى بالله وكيلا. صدق الله العلي العظيم.
اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد.
Once again, we are here in the month of Muharram, the month to remember the Shuhada of Karbala, the month to realize our purpose and the reason that we're here today and the things that we do today. Why are we here? It's really important how we take the month of Ramadan. We look at so many aspects of our life. We stop so many things in our day-to-day life. And we make our focus that we're going to use this time to reform, to reflect, and to build on ourselves. The same when you come into the month of Muharram. When we come into these doors, when we dress in black, when we prepare ourselves for these days of mourning, realize that this is also a time where we can look at ourselves and think, what are we doing? Are we ready for Allah? Are we ready to sit in the same setting that people say Fatima Zahra has also sat, or Bibi Sakina has also sat? Do we have that haysiyat? Do we have that honor that we can sit here? Are we ready? Have we cleared everything? Have we forgotten all the worldly things? And have we come here for a true purpose? Or are we here to check a box? It's really important. Not from today, but a week before the start of Muharram. Sit your children down and tell them, look, Muharram is coming. And I want you to focus on the children of Allah. Use them as an example. Use their characteristics and try to put a little bit in day by day. You stop eating and drinking very easily. But what about stop your games? Stop your entertainment? Stop the extra things that you're doing for a while. Just 10 days. And bring yourself to Allah. And bring yourself to that realization that, look, He sacrificed His own life and the life of His whole family for you. What are we doing? Where are we? We always have that in our hearts. We want to go to Karbala. We want to do Syed. But when you go to the Mawlana, you go to Imam Hussain, you go to Karbala, where is your heart? Your heart should be with Him every step you take. But once you leave Karbala and come back here, it doesn't give you the excuse to then stop that part. Continue that within your life here, and you won't need to find anyone. You won't need to look for support for anyone else. And inshallah, throughout the 10 days, my topic of tawakkul and trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we will go over these aspects of different ways of tawakkul. How can you reach tawakkul first? What is the meaning of tawakkul? Nowadays, we rely so much on people, and it's not the way of the Ahlul. If Imam Hussain Hussein was to rely on people, he would have stayed in Medina. He wouldn't have left. He would have followed everyone else and just given way. Just to be safe, rely on people, stay in my home. But he knows what's correct. And he knows when it's time to move on and do stuff which are right. Because we trust Allah. There's so many times that even I get afraid. Sometimes when I'm in hospital or something goes wrong. What am I doing? I'm thinking about the doctors, thinking about the nurses, thinking about the medicine. But even sometimes I forget. Allah is with me. If He wants something to happen, it's gonna happen. Whether it's good, whether it's bad, in your poor health, you're struggling in exams, you're struggling anywhere. If Allah has meant for it to happen, it's gonna happen and we can't stop. So when we look into the life of the Ahlul Bayt and we look at the yaqeen in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is something we're going to try and implement throughout these 10 years. If you look recently, people always tell us, why are we still mourning Karbala after so many years? Why is it so important? Why do we, as Shia, come in and cry over Imam Hussain, who died so many years ago? I tell them now, if you don't think this is relevant, then you haven't seen what's happening in Gaza and the world. If you don't think the mourning of Abdullah Hussain is relevant or important, then look in the world today. We have a Yazid, we have a Hussain, and we have children who are being murdered. Indeed, the difference is they were masoom, we are just mourning. But there are struggles today which show us if we implement some part of Imam Hussain, if we implement some part of Hazrat Abbas, Ali Akbar, Ali Asghar, maybe this time will be easier. Maybe we'll have that hope in our hearts that we can get through this. The children of Gaza are not complaining. They're not saying, Allah, why is this happening to us? The mothers in Gaza are not complaining. They're saying, take my son. Do what's wrong. Maybe they have more to work on than we. Maybe that's where we're working. When something falls on our head, when we think, oh, Allah, I worship you, I do everything that you ask me to do. Why? Why are you putting this on me? Why are you making me go through this? It's really important to understand. Tawakkul will leave you a life of peace without any harm, without any stress. From the smallest of child to the eldest adult that we have. When we look deeper into tawakkul, and we look at tawassul as well, with tawakkul, how to reach tawakkul. It says in the Quran, Ya ayyuhal ladhina amanu taqullaha wa tabtaghu ila wasila. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran has said, look, O you who believe, fear me, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and seek some way or some form to approach me. When we come into these days and we're always talking about the Ahlul Bayt, talking about Allah, talking about Imam Hussain, this is how we see that today. Sometimes we think we're so focused on these Masoom, we're so focused on these people, but we're not getting closer to Allah. Because you need to understand, when you receive this tawassul to them, when you're talking to them, your heart should be present, not just ticking a box. Tawakkul, what is the way of tawakkul? People say read namaz, talk to Allah. But 5 times a day, tell yourselves truly, when you sit for namaz, are you just sitting for namaz because it's wajib? Or are you sitting for namaz because it's actually means something to you? Are you using that time to talk to Allah? Are you using that to? Or is it just, I'm saying Surah Fatiha, I'm saying Surah Ikhlas, I don't know what I mean. I'm just doing it. It's why look at the life of the Muslims, look at Abbas, how they perform the namaz shab, how they perform extra amal, how they just stand and speak to Allah generally. If we just try to do that, that's not hard. Take some time out. Sit and talk to me. Tell me about your day. Some people who use social media here, especially the youth, a few years ago you'll see a video of a person, an old man on his bike, in front of the shrine of Hazrat Abbas. And he's just sat in front of Hazrat Abbas telling about his day. telling him, you know, I did the deliveries today, I did this today, I went to my house, I spoke to my wife, everything. He was just speaking to Allah and general conversation. But the peace that was in his heart, it's very hard for us to obtain. Because we don't see it as that. We don't see Allah as a friend. We don't see Allah as a master or commander. We just see him as someone who's there. He's given us a few rules, and we have to follow. Where is that love? Where is that trust? Imam Ali also tells me in Nahjul, he says, look, if you want to obtain a life which is away from evil, away from peace, away from injustice and pain, just have to walk. I did it. You did it. And he shows it within his life. When we look into, especially for the youth who are sat here, Ali Akbar wasn't too old. There was Ali Akbar. Ali Akbar wasn't so beautiful. But they had so much trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that death didn't seem scary. They couldn't care about this world. That's what we need to do. Hope dunya from our hearts. Once you remove that, you have tawakkul in Allah, you have tawassul in the Ahlul you will feel change, and that's a guarantee. From this member, from the Hussein, try it. We sit for the 10 days and then we suddenly forget about Abdullah Hussein gave sacrifice. Look at the Imam of our time. Still crying for so many years after the death of Abdullah Hussein. Crying so much which blood is coming through his eyes. He can remember him so strong, so well. Wherein to be his followers. Why aren't we trying to? For the parents, especially, when we come with our case of Hussein, we prepare them. Just in your day-to-day life, when you leave this home, tell them about it. Tell them about it. Tell them about it. And you don't have to give them a Messiah. You don't have to approach them and make them cry or force anything upon them. Just tell them how they learned from the village. Tell them how they spoke to Allah. We do. Ali after all the accidents was thrown of the cradle. And he was ready. Today, what are our kids doing? What are they worrying about? They're worrying about what's on the latest TikTok trend. What's happening in the world? What are my friends doing? What is this footballer doing? How's his hairstyle? Am I right? This is what we're focusing on. You have the most beautiful gift. Out of every single sect in Islam, you have the most beautiful gift of the Master. You have that essence. You've given everything. Yet where the arrogant ones are not taking? Where the people who are being and so on? And then when we're questioned, we're saying, what's your problem? Instead of replying to them the way the Master replied, with the Quranic verses, with the lives of the others. Inshallah, we aim these 10 days or these 2 months, strengthen your heart. Strengthen your tawakkul with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And not only that, strengthen your character. The previous Majlis that some people who were present in that said, when you strengthen your character so much, in this world, people will want to come and be in your presence. And when you leave this world, they will remember you every single day. Abba how many years ago? Look on our mind, how many years ago? In the heat, 55 degrees is saying this year. Millions and millions of people are ready to go and see. Why? Because he had tawakkul. Because he had a good character. He was approachable. He was a good person. panicking. What she did was beautiful, and this is what we should try and do. She laid me down properly, you know how they lay the hospital bed flat. She laid the bed down flat. She told me, close your eyes. And she placed the eyes. As soon as the ziyarat started, I began to cry. And I was telling myself at that moment, why am I hopeless? What is going on? At that point, I realized strongly in my own heart, if you try and just listen, or try and focus on it, you can be anything. Doctors will tell you something else. This world will tell you something else. People will say, don't do it, give up. You're tired. Doctor will say, go home and rest. Masoom will say, look at us. Hold our hand. What did it take? Everyone sat here today is going through something. Everyone is facing difficulties, and everyone is going to reach that point where they want to give up, or they want to get tired. Stop what you're doing at that point. Go to a room, sit by yourself, and just tell Allah, Allah, you know everything. Whatever's happening to me right now is your plan, I accept it. But Allah help me. I'm lost. You know I'm struggling, but you're putting me through this for a reason. I accept. Alhamdulillah. But maybe ask him. Once you reach that level of spirituality, once you've reached, your heart has reached that level, it's guaranteed you won't need to ask him. On the day of judgment, you know that have to come with. There will be you, Allah, and the Lord. This is what we do. What do you want me to do? I told you, come ask me. I told you, come talk to me. You didn't do it. There's no go back, there's no return for it. Allah said, I gave you all the options. Shaitan also gave you options, but you chose that. What is he giving you? What is his guarantee? Jannah? Happiness in this world? Okay. It's not my fault. I care about you. I gave you everything you'd like. Why didn't you trust me? Why didn't you trust me? In Muharram, with your tears, also strengthen your heart. And think about what you do. Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? How do you want to live? How do you want to leave this world? When the moon of Muharram, the chand of Muharram is being seen today, commemorating the chand of Muharram, the tradition which says the cloak of Abdullah had tears in it, had blood in it. And in the sky was paraded for the Muharram. As each malaika, as each angel saw that cloak, they began to cry. Ya Abbas, why have they punished you? And what was happening on the earth, as another tradition says, even Rasul Khuda and Fatima Zahra, they leave their shrines and they go to Allah and they go and mourn him and say, what happened to you wasn't correct, but we're here for you. Imam Hussein's tragedy is that his musibat didn't start in Karbala, but it started even before he was born. There's a tradition which clearly states before he was born in the stomach of Fatima, Bibi Fatima went to her father and she was worried. She said, oh father, when you go to sleep and when I'm alone, I hear voices. I hear a child talking to me. And what is he saying? He's saying, oh mother, ana gharib. Mother, أنا مسكين. أنا مظلوم. Father, what are these voices? Why am I hearing these cries from my child? The father sets his daughter down. His daughter listens. There will come a time when on the land of Karbala your son will be martyred. Him along with his family will be butchered just because they stood to what is right, just because they supported the mission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He says, okay, Father, I accept. If he has to be shaheed, I accept. It's the will of Allah. Look at the tawakkul again. Trust in Allah. Her father, her son's going to be shaheed, and she's like, if that's what Allah wants, okay. But Father, who's going to cry over my son? Who will be there? She begins to ask questions. She says, will I be there? Will Ali be there? Will you be there? No. Who will be there? He looks to her and he says, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to create a nation. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to send his people down and they're going to cry for the son of Allah. Bibi Fatima Zahra's dua, her hajat, who will cry? You are the answer to her heart. Know your value when you enter these doors and all that. Know that you're here because of that dua. Fatima Zahra said, cry for my son, and I am sure on the day of judgment will be looked at. Even if you can't shed a tear, or you can't understand what God is with Muharram, anything, take your mind and try to visualize it, try to think about it. Say, look, they were children and they did nothing. They were killed. What if that was your brother, your sister, your mother, your father? If you can't cry, at least try to think about it. And make these 10 days the most important days of your life. Because ensuring that these 10 days go well, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Holy Prophet of Islam, and the Abbas of Islam will tell you, if you can reach a little bit of that level, the whole year that's going to go on after this Muharram will be so peaceful for you, you will slowly start to realize the value of Iman. With that we pray, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us all with more and more years to come and more of our July and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant our children the same strength of Ali Akbar, Ali Asghar, Ali Qasim and Sakina. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala remove all the pain and all the tragedies from your life and allow us to be close to Allah, to strengthen our tawakkul in Allah, and to strengthen our tawassul and our hearts with the Ma'soom. And finally, we pray that the Imam of our time quickly returns, so we can be under his shadow, we can be under his lessons,